Aggroed. So Aggroed, you did the other day. You guys did another platform, right? For your virtual event. What was the name again?
Digicon.
Digicon. And how did that go with all the tech? I'm having some challenges. It's working okay, but there are some challenges.
I like Digicon. This is a neat space too for kind of like one central event or one central speaker. This is pretty neat. I
Yeah,
like the Digicon format for the sort of big generic, go wherever you want and talk to whoever you want, and
right.
there's some advantages there.
I see. Yeah, I saw that you guys had an art show and art NFT auction. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good.
But today you're here, obviously the man of everything, or a lot of things based Hive. I've just released the controls back to you, so if you can click up the square. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue the final hour of Steamfest Day 1 plenary session, HIVEFest Day 1 plenary sessions. Last hour, and we start off with Aggroed from HIVE Engine, Splinterlands, co-founder of MSP Waves, Mina Support. Please give a round of applause. And this floor is yours.
Well, hey everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Roland, for hosting yet a season first Hive Fest. Although this is your fourth party, so thank you for continuing to do that. It's the fifth. It's fantastic. So I'm here. I want to talk some about Hive Engine. Matt was able to go talk a little bit about Splinterlands. Splinterlands is doing great. That business is a wonderful thing. Hive Engine is a little bit more direct to all of the Hivians here in ways that I think that we can help you by enabling people to go build their own businesses. So generally speaking, when you have websites, you have both a front end and a back end to these websites. And the front end is basically what you see. Anything that's on your screen, anything that you're looking at, that's the front end of your website. But all the actual processing for that has to live on the back end, and that's where like the actual code happens. That's where the actual contracts happen. That's where all the databases and tables and images are stored. All that stuff is really part of the back end. So a website typically has a front end and a back end. And what I'm trying to do with Hive Engine is really make it so that Hive Engine can be a common back end for all these different types of programs. So whether you want to go create something to do with governance, whether you want to build a game, we do a ton of markets already, and I really hope to see a lot more markets forming. Whether you just want to do straight trading, fungible tokens as opposed to non-fungible tokens, listing services, kind of like a Craigslist. We can put up auctions. The auctions contract is coming shortly. Your social media through tribes and also decentralized finance. All of those are like in the rest of the world and the rest of the internet. You would have to create all of those different pieces completely separately. And maybe you could go pull some from like WordPress or something, but there's not really a lot of places where you're able to just use the same backend 8 million times. And that's what we're trying to do with Hive Engine on the back end, is make it so that here's this one space that you can go to be able to build literally any kind of Web 2.0 internet service, but have it function with like the Web 3.0 aspects to it. And that really revolves around these smart contracts. And the smart contracts have 4 different parts. There's some kind of pre-programmed contract. So the terms, the rules, conditions, agreement, that's all established up front. Then you have a chain of events. So this is your if-then statement. And this is kind of what makes it the smart aspect. If it's triggered, then it does this. And through that, when you're doing that handshake, that's when you have the execution, and one side or both sides are executing value transfer. And so money is moving. And then lastly, you have the sort of settlement where all the value has been processed. And what I like about these smart contracts is that they're trustless. And in blockchain, Like the biggest thing, it's wonderful that you're all a bunch of anonymous people and that, on Hive, you're pseudo-anonymous. But, without any KYC, it's hard to go do thousands of dollars worth of contracts. And, business can be scary out here because it is still very much like the Wild West. But having these smart contracts where if I do this and it's part of this contract, then they have to do that. That's the kind of thing that creates the trust that you need. And so what we want to do is not simply build smart contracts that are, just for individual applications. And I want it to be modular. I want it to be modular. So I have like, you could think about this as building a single house where, you have to make your one design and it's unique, and you have your architect and you put together the plans, you hire that one crew to build that one house in that one location, and that's all that you're working on right that moment, as opposed to doing something like building modular homes, maybe even 3D printed modular homes where you just push a button and suddenly all this stuff can come to life. And so another kind of example of this that I've been thinking about, here I have the benefits of modular design, and here's a camera. You have the camera base and all these different lenses, and they basically allow this camera to function with the base of it, the data storage, the light processing, all of that. That's really common to a lot of these components. But then when you really want the different lens, the different approach, what you're trying to take photographs of, it gets a lot more specific. And I feel like if we do our jobs right on the back end of HIVE Engine, that we're going to be able to enable quite a number of different applications that can come forward. So the ones that I have in mind, and some of these are done, but they're not all done. I have a ton of smart contracts that we want to write. And what we're really trying to do is make them no-code contracts so that literally anybody can come here with a business idea and an artist and can start stringing together some of these smart contracts to go make their application come to life. So like on Ethereum, you would have to hire a Solidity dev, and it's going to take you some months, and maybe you copy some code, or it's a pretty big project. But on HIVE Engine, I'm trying to make it so that you come here, you do a couple configurations, you pay a little fee to the system, and you have an app that starts running. And that's the whole piece of this. Is I want it to be as stupid simple for people to build a business here as possible. So the contracts that we have running right now, we have our fungible tokens and we have our non-fungible tokens. And we have a couple more things that have already been built or in progress now. Now that we have kind of these major smart contracts in place, we can start working on all these other ones. So I just hired somebody to start working on a bid, like the bid market, so that if there's a particular NFT you want, you could go show that you're willing to buy it. And so you can put bids up for it. We have the auction contract. So if you want something like an eBay style contract, that's currently in progress. Governance, we have a couple of these different governance pieces that are already done. A little bit of voting. We've added some positions. There's not a lot that is done yet to go show how easy it is to implement these things. So I still have to do some work on the front end. But these types of contracts make it so that you guys could just come here, set up shop, and be like, I want a tribe with governance. All right, you push a bunch of buttons, you pay some fee, and you have a tribe with governance. We're adding the ability to start doing collections. So we have this pack manager contract. It just got finished recently. We're starting to work on another game that's going to be a demonstration of this. But it should be kind of like Atomic Hub, if you're familiar with that on Wax, where you can go in, and now not only could you mint one single NFT like you could on NFT Showroom, but now you could go sell entire collections from packs. So, and then we have all these kind of fund distribution contracts where it's like, all right, every single week, if this money comes in, here's the parties we want this to go to. And then kind of on the finance side, we have things like Uniswap and collateralized lending that are high priorities for 2021. So with all these different components, to me, it's like you have all the different building blocks that you need. that, your app is going to look different than somebody else's, but you're going to come in and you're going to say, okay, here are the tools that I have at my disposal. And instead of writing one big mega contract, you're going to come in and say, okay, I need a distribution contract. I need a witness contract. I need some NFTs. The NFTs are going to have some dynamic properties. Some are static. And you kind of put all that into your configurations. And without literally a single line of code on the back end, all you're doing is setting configurations. You're able to go get apps up and running. So I still have some work to do on the front end to make this as simple as intuitive as possible while still being really robust for app developers. But those are our priorities. We want these kind of business logic smart contracts to be off the shelf, no code, and help you guys build whatever business or app you would like to do. So, and just to give you a sense of the scope of this, this is just some generic website of buying and selling stuff. But what I've realized over time of looking at this is that wherever you have any one of these kind of tiles, right? You can see the tiles, there's 8 tiles in this. Each one of those could be like its own NFT. So literally any platform, whether it's eBay, Amazon, my next slide here is kind of this fake dating profile. This is like a Amazon dating, kind of a joke for that. But, each one of these people could be a unique NFT, and they could have their profile that you could go visit. So my brain started reworking when I realized that once we have this NFT backend, we can literally recreate just about any Web 2.0 interface, any Web 2.0 app or, big website, from Craigslist to Amazon to Etsy to eBay. Literally all of that stuff can be recreated and put into this HIVE Engine system using a common backend. And in some ways, they're all just markets. And our tool is good at building markets. And if we wrap all these things together, what we're going to end up with, you have this kind of fungible token contract, and there are ways to get it through staking and DeFi and mining. And then you can start incentivizing people through social media. And the social media people are earning it. Alternatively, they could be spending that fungible token to get some advertising. And as those social media types start building up their audience, they're doing it to promote themselves and to grow your audience so that you can actually end up getting new customers. And then, all of that drives towards something like NFTs for sale. And so we're really starting to get to this point where the back end is strong enough so that you guys can have combinations of social media websites, fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens. I hope to see a lot more markets forming in 2021. So all these pieces can be exchanged, and you guys can start building businesses. And instead of spending thousands and thousands of dollars creating brand new websites from scratch, you guys can use kind of these common backends and common tools. You make your own little custom front end, but we have done the vast majority of the work because all the back-end components are done and ready for you. So just to quickly showcase a couple games. So we put out Farm Farmer, and here's a game where you purchase NFTs and they start mining fungible tokens, and you can use those fungible tokens. We've added a couple markets. Now you can use those fungible tokens to buy D-City cards or buy Splinterlands cards. Rising Star is next. And if any of these other projects start doing NFT projects as part of it, then for sure we're gonna try to build that in as well. I put out this game Mythical, so part of this is already sold out too. But these games are big parts of our funding mechanism now. So if you're interested in seeing kind of Ethereum coming to HIVE Engine, if you want more smart contracts, if you want more websites to be created, then one of the best things that you can do to go help the team is go purchase some NFTs from either Farm Farmer or Mythical, and help pay for the development of what we're doing around here. Two more quick slides. So this is what that marketplace looks like. So here, these are D-City cards. So you can go take your farm and actually start buying the cards from a different game. And I really hope to be doing more of this and making, OpenSea is a pretty popular website over on Ethereum. I want to go make something like an Open Hive where now not only can you transact and purchase all these different NFTs, but you can pay for them in the various tokens that you want, whether it be Leo or PAL or Dark Energy Crystals, really trying to open this up for everybody. So I'm just trying to give you guys a sense of what we're doing on the back end. Cryptomancer is going to come up in a little bit and he'll talk about some of what we're doing a little bit more on the front end, but hopefully this gives you a sense of the big picture to me. If I had to say just one crappy image that helps describe everything we're doing, it's this. I'm trying to make it so Hive Engine is one beautiful big backend that can power all of your front end services. And that's what I wanted to share today. Thank you.